Hello guys, and welcome back to another tutorial at Chlo's Craft Closet. My name's Chloe Evans. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the beautiful mid-north coast. And today I wanted to share with you a tri-fold triangular card. Now there are a few of these templates on YouTube and on the internet at the moment. I actually got my inspiration from the Paper Haven. She's a UK demo, and she made a beautiful one of these, and it completely inspired me to do a fancy fold. Now, anyone who knows me knows fancy folds are not my thing. It involves far too much maths. However, this one is easy and super beautiful. So let me show you what they actually look like. So they start off just as a normal card, and you can get one of these out of a normal Australian A4. And what happens is when you open it, it folds out and you get this beautiful triangular trifold. Look at that. How good is that? Isn't that pretty? Okay, so this one uses the gorgeous Bird Ballad DSP and stamps. And that inside sentiment, if you can see that there, that's from our Strong Woman stamp set. Cute, hey? Okay, so we're actually going to do this one. This one is my design. This is one that I made. So it's using two stamp sets. One of them is the good old trusty Crafting Forever, and then the other one is It Starts With Art, which is our new one. And again, it folds out, and there you go. What a beautiful card to send to a fellow crafter, hey? If you've got a crafty girlfriend in your life, this is perfect to make and send them. And it really is super easy. If I can make it, you guys can make it. Alrighty, so let's get started. I'm going to try and keep this video as fast as possible, not too long, because otherwise, you know, we can all get a bit lost. Okay, so I've chosen my two pieces of DSP, excuse me, and I'm using the It Starts With Art coordinating DSP. Now this is absolutely beautiful. Look how pretty this is. This one's just got like confetti punched out pieces of different shapes, and obviously glue guns, re-inkers and mini stamps and buttons on that side. But I think we might use this side. So this is just sort of a spongy piece of, I'm guessing it's a cross between Coastal Cabana or Pool Party. Both will work with that one. And then this one is all pencils and markers and blends and all sorts of lovely crafty goodness. So these are the two pieces we're going to use today. And I'm going to coordinate that with these two pieces of cardstock. So I'm going to use a piece of Pool Party, almost at Coastal Cabana. No, that's Pool Party, and a piece of grey granite, which I love this grey piece. It's sort of what I would call not beige, not grey. It's a Grange colour. Grange. We call it Grange in our house. So yeah, so it's like a creamy grey. Hopefully it shows up better on the camera, but in real life, it's sort of a cross between smoky slate and crumb cake. It's a really pretty colour and a really good basic to have. Alrighty, so I'm going to bring in my trusty trimmer, which alas is retired and no more. I can't wait for Stampin' Up! To bring out their new super duper trimmer. I know it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut our base first. So I'm going to use the Pool Party for this. As always, all my measurements will be up on my blog over at Chlo's Craft Closet. So make sure you check that out. And I do also have a Facebook page, guys. So if you ever want to pop into my Facebook page, there's always something going on. I go live at least once a week, if not more. So check that out. Again, Chlo's Craft Closet on Facebook, Chlo's Craft Closet on Instagram, Chlo's Craft Closet on my blog spot as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this at 10 1/4. So that just leaves us a little bit. And then we're going to rotate it round and cut it at 4 inches. So 4. Now we actually want 2 of these. So we're going to do that one, and then we're going to cut this one again at 4 inches because we need 2 of these pieces. So there you go. Nicely done. Cut at 4. There we go. Now we're going to do a little piece of scoring here. So the first score line we're going to do is at 5 1/2. So we're going to score both pieces at the 5 1/2 mark. So that's 1. Second piece, 5 1/2, 2. There we go. Now you will see, you can just about see, one rectangle is slightly bigger than the other. Where the score line sits here, you've got a big side and a little side. Now what I want you to do is on the little side, we are going to do a diagonal score. So I'm going to rotate this piece round because I want my little piece over to my left hand side, and I'm going to line that up at the 4-inch mark. Can you see that there? That's lined up at 4 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pencil, trusty pencil. It's even got oh no, it's got my daughter's name, not my name, my daughter's name on it. And where the trimmer blade is, where that trimmer grid line is, I'm just going to draw a little pencil line there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over so you can see a little bit better, and I'll zoom you in so it's a little bit easier. You are going to want to do a score line from that pencil mark to the point, zoom you out again, to the corner, to the far point. So I can't quite get you in, so I'll zoom out so you can see. So pencil mark to the point about there. Okay, so now when I score, I'm going to score from that little pencil line to that fold. Can you see that? There you go. So all the way across. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to put my smaller rectangle on my right side. So I'm going to line up with the 4-inch mark, which is there. And again, I'm going to put a little pencil line in. And then I'm going to line that pencil line up. Oh, no, hang on. Hang on. That's not right, is it? Because we want to do it to the point. All right. Scratch that. We'll go back to how we did the last one. Okay, so little rectangle on your left-hand side. We'll do it this way, and then we'll just fold it differently. Pencil line at the 4-inch mark where the blade will run down. And then we're just going to line up that point. Oh, let me move it up a little bit so you can see. We're going to line up that corner with that pencil line and score a line. Okay, here we go. Score. And there we go. So ignore that one. I'll put my finger over it. And there you go. There's your score line. Okay. So we'll put this aside. We're going to need this again very soon. So we've got lots of DSP to cut out, but I just want to bring these pieces back in. So what we've got, turn it around. We've got 2 identical pieces now. So we are going to flip one of these the other way, okay? And what we're going to do is we are going to stick that base, that big rectangle, on top of the other big rectangle. And we're going to fold our score line. So folding that one in, folding this one in. Okay, so there are flaps, and then we're going to fold these ones out like that, and the same with this one. Fold it in, fold those ones out, and you can see when you put them together, there you go, you make a perfect fold. Alrighty, not bad. Okay, so before we stick anything together, let's cut the rest of our pieces. So I'll just zoom out a little bit more again. Okay, we'll put this over to one side. And next what we will do is we will bring in our DSPs. Now, I'll bring my trimmer back in again, and I'll bring the card that we're copying. So what I want to do is this piece that I've got here is going to be our pencil piece. And this pink piece with the scissors, that's going to be our pool party piece. Okay, so we will cut our scissors or our pool party piece first, and that's a really super duper easy thing to do. It is just a square. So we want to cut this at 3.5 by 3.5, and then all we're going to do is go corner to corner like so and trim that up. There you go. That's your piece there. Beautiful. So I want to back that onto our piece of grey granite. So I need to make my square just that little bit bigger. And what we're going to do is we're going to add 1/4 inch. So the DSP was 3.5. We're going to make this 3 3/4. So up there, turn it around, 3 3/4. Down we go, and done. And again, all we want to do is line up those corners, cut, and there you go. So these will now sit nicely, she says, fingers crossed. There you go, on there like that. Beautiful. Okay, so I will put those away with our base, tuck those over there I'll move our bit of grey granite and I will move our other DSP because we don't need that. So now what we want to do is we want to bring in this piece of DSP, our beautiful pens. And so the measurements for this one is 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 and 4 1/4. So 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Now, obviously, you need to be a little bit aware of what way your paper is running when you cut this. I deliberately chose a piece that can run any way because if you have a pattern like this bit, you have to obviously make sure you're cutting your paper the right way around and that you're adhering it the right way around. Because otherwise, not that anybody would notice, but I'm going to point it out here, my bird cages, they run beautifully down here. Look at that. But when I poke them up here, uh-oh, they're upside down. Oh, no. Anyway, nobody really notices, but it's just a little tip to keep in mind when you're cutting your paper. You want it to be, if you've got a piece that's like this where it doesn't matter which way round it goes, awesome. But if you do have a pattern that's flowing, you need to make sure that you're cutting it the right way. Okay, so that is that. Now, do I need anything else? Oh, yes, I do. I need some white cardstock. Which I don't have out, girls. So let me just go grab a piece of Whisper White from my file because we need some for the base. Okay, here we go. It's nothing like being unorganised at the last minute. Okay, so a little piece of Whisper White. So we obviously need Whisper White for our square, which we're going to die cut, so we don't need to worry about that just yet. But we need a piece for our inside as well. So the inside piece is 3, hang on, let me have a look. 3 3/4. I'm just reading off my instructions. I might turn this around this way. Wasteless paper. 3 3/4 and 5 1/4. And that is going to go on the inside of our card. So I'll put that away with all these other pieces that we've trimmed out. And I don't know, that might be big enough for our square. So let's do our big shotting now. So I'm going to put trusty scoreboard away, cutting board, and I'm going to bring out Mr. Big. Here he goes. All right, so we'll get the big shot in there. And so what we're going to use is we need 2 squares I'm using the largest stitched square. So that's the largest one out the stitched frames. And then I'm using the largest scalloped rectangle from our square from our layering squares. So it's the largest scalloped square and the largest stitched square. Those are the 2 I'm using. So this one we want to be on the white cardstock. So I'm going to just run him through. And does that bit of, oh, look at that little bit of offcut that we had. He will run through perfectly. So we'll run him through. And I always like to run them through twice, just to make sure they pop out nice and easy, because sometimes those little bits of stitching can be a bit sticky. Okay, there we go. So there's our stitched square. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of our smoky slate, and we had an offcut here, and I'm going to use that for our border. And look at that, it's like it was made to work like that. We're just going to run that through, and again I'm going to run that through twice. Oh, sorry guys, made the camera jiggery a bit. Beautiful. Okay, so there we go, and there's our scallop, and then those 2 mount up really nicely. Perfect. Okay, well, I think that's most of our prep work done. We can start putting this baby together. So I'm going to move Mr. Big out the way, and I'm going to bring all our pieces back in again. Okay, so we've got those pieces, that's obviously in our middle. Then we've got our triangle of pieces, and then we've got our fold. So again, you just want to make sure that you've got one triangle down here. Let me move these so that you can see in the camera. So you've got one triangle down here and one triangle up there. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to add a bit of Tombow to the back of this one. And we are going to literally line those two up. And Tombow is the best glue to use for this because it gives you a little bit of time to get this into shape and into line, where tape isn't quite so forgiving. Okay, so there we go. That is our middle done. That was fairly easy, wasn't it? Now, usually you guys would rub out the pencil marks. Oh, here we go. I do have an eraser. I was just having a look to see if I could find one. My children come in and steal mine all the time. So you're just going to rub out your pencil marks. And you would only have 2, but obviously because I got mine the wrong way round, I have 3. So there we go. Beautifully done. Okay. And I'm one of those crafters who literally stamps by the seat of her pants. Maybe I should put that on a t-shirt, actually. I'll have to get my beautiful friend who makes our t-shirts to make me one of those. So you, by all means, can stamp on this first. Okay. By all means, stamp on this first and then stick it down in case you know, fluff up or whatever. But like I said, I'm not one of those stampers. I like to just get it done. So I'm going to stick mine in straight away. All right, so that is our main part of the card, see? So we're going to decorate it like this, and then when we open it up, it's going to turn that way around, and it's just like magic. So we will now bring in our triangles. And again, you will have to be careful with how you cut these to make sure that your pattern is going the right way. Or do what I do, pick a piece of paper that doesn't have a particular pattern to worry about. And then that way it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about it. All right, triangle on there. Flip this one around. Triangle on here. Okay, so that's those done, and they are just going to go on here. We're going to lay those on there. So let's do that now. Triangle piece of glue there, and we will, maybe I'll open it out, might be easier. I'm going to put that up there. Okay, and then the same again on this side. I'm going to add a triangle of glue over there, flip this around, and we're going to line up. Oh, no, not that much. There. Okay. And so now that is our triangle. Oh, look at that. Moved that one. That's terrible. That's not straight at all. Luckily, my glue is still wet, so I can force that up a little bit. There we go. Let's have a look now. Oh, that's straighter, isn't it? There we go. Much better. Oh, look at that one I've moved. I obviously only worked on one corner and not looked at the other corner. All right, again, my glue's not completely stuck, so I can move it out a little bit. All right, there. Oh, much better. Okay. Much better, much better. There you go. Alrighty. So I'm now going to show you the next bit, which is probably a bit of the trickiest part. We're going to work out this size here to be able to stick our pieces of DSP on. So what I find the easiest thing to do is line up this little bit here, this bit here, and this bit here. So they've got the same edge, the same distance from the edge to the paper. So you've got a nice even border. And then you're going to get your trusty pencil out. And you're going to look for the same line. Now if I can zoom right in here. So my score line is there. And I want the same distance I've got here from my score line to the edge. So it always tends to be the corner on that bit. And then when we come down here, there's the score line there. And I want the same sort of distance as I've got here, so I'm just going to draw a line there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up with my trimmer. So that's that one. So I might do this one at a time because they might be slightly different either side. So I don't want to assume they're both the same. So again, I'm just going to put my pencil line there and find my other pencil line, which is here, and that is what I'm going to cut. Okay, so that gives you my piece. Now if I bring this back in and have a look, that will sit perfectly in there. So that's where we're going to add our, oh, I've left my Tombow sitting up, there we go. And again, Tombow is our friend with this, because if we put it in, it's a little bit wonky. We've got a little bit of wiggle room. So it doesn't matter if it's got a big gap there, because you're not going to see that. You just want to make sure this and this and this is all nice and square. All right, so that is the first bit done. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to turn it around. Now, if you've got paper that runs a particular way, you need to make sure your paper's running whichever way it's running. But mine doesn't matter, so I can just pick a piece up, square it up, and again, I'll zoom in again for you so you can see. Lined up my 3 sides, and again the distance is roughly the point, and then down here I'm going to find my score line, which is here, and I'm going to give it about that much there. Okay, and then I'll zoom you out, guys, and I'll bring Mr. Trimmer back in, and we're going to line up that pencil line with that pencil line, and we're going to cut it, and that's our piece. So again, that should line up beautifully there. Okay, let's add our Tombow, flip him around, and we're going to line him up so he's nice and square. Oh, see, I do move them. I move them when I go to rub them. All right, there you go. That's it. That's the basics of your card made. That's your bones made. So the only other thing we've got to do now is decorate. So I'm going to stamp. I might stamp first, actually. Okay, I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to get, it starts with art, and I really love this. Let's stay up late and craft, because that is totally me. Let's do that. Let's stay up late and craft. So I'm going to find that stamp, which I haven't even used yet. It's still got its backing on, doesn't even have its sticker on yet. And I'm going to find myself a little block, which is just here. And I'm going to eyeball that and hope that that's in line. Looks about right, doesn't it? Maybe it's a little bit wonky. All right, and I'm going to get my Memento Black. Now, when I stamp this, I don't have any grid paper. Here's a piece. Let's just practice on that. Okay, that's pretty square. All right, I'm happy with that. I usually have grid paper down. I've just realised I don't. So I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to put a little cluster of things over here. So I want to put this up in this corner a little bit. So let's stay up late and craft. So that's my sentiment for that. And while I have everything out, I think we might also stamp our inside. And I'm going to stamp again from It Starts With Art, I think. I'm going to have You Make Everything Sparkle. It's one of my favourite sentiments in this set. I love that. What a great sentiment. And it'd be really good for birthdays as well. It doesn't just have to be craft orientated. It can totally be for birthdays. You make everything sparkle. All right, so this is when I'm going to wish that I actually had, you know, practiced this a little bit better. But again, I'm just going to wing it. Stamp it down, stamp it up. Perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. There we go. Look. You make everything sparkle. All right, so that's our little bit of stamping. So I'm now going to bring my squares back in. I'm going to add a bit of glue to this and put this in the middle, Chlo. There we go. Now, when you come to add this to your piece, to your main card, Don't forget, this is going to open this card. So you don't want to put glue all the way around the back because otherwise your card won't open. So you just want to put it in this top corner. So just this top corner, you want just a little bit of glue, not much, just enough to hold it in place. And then we'll close our card again. We'll work out roughly where is the middle. And then we're just going to push down up in this corner. Again, look, I moved it again. There we go. Thank goodness for Tombo. And there you go. That's your card done. How cute is that? Now, this is when you get to all the stamping and the fussy cutting and the colouring. And luckily, this set does come with dies. So you have a die for this, 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 die for this. So you have a die for everything. So you can stamp, you can colour, you can run it through your big shot and die cut it all out. No fussy cutting for you guys. However, I quite often, when we're watching movies, my husband and I will sit and I will do some colouring and some stamping, and then I'll cut it all out in one go, and I put it in a little pocket, just a little pocket like this, and then I get them out when I need them. So I already have a few things coloured and ready to go. I don't have any of these pens coloured. All right, so I might just, let's see, I might put this in here. I kind of like that. I think that looks good in there. So I'm going to get some mini foam dots. You don't want this too bulky inside because you want your card to be able to be closed. But I think, you know, a little bit of raised goodness isn't a bad thing. I've got Tombo on my fingers, so now I can't feel the sticky backing pieces of the foam mounts. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put that. Now I've got to be careful because obviously there's a fold there. So I'm going to move that and I'm going to put that there. All right, that's going to be my inside. Cute. So cute. All right, and so on the outside, I've got a few buttons. I've got a couple of little ring-anchors. So maybe I'll get my glue dots. I might add a little flat ring-anchor. And I'm going to do a video on my colouring. It's not fantastic. There's definitely better colourers out there, but I do quite often get asked, and I'm very basic, so I will do a quick video in the next coming weeks. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel and press the little, I think there's a little bell that you can click on, and that will tell you, that lets you know when I'm next going to be, my next video is up, and I'll add a little video for you of my very basic colouring. So I've got some little sequins here that I've obviously cut out too. Where's Tombo? Here he is. I'm going to add just a little bit to my sequin. Come on, Mr. Tom. Oh, not that much. That's huge. All right, let's share the love. I'll put a bit on there as well. And I'm just going to add that little sequin there. And now that I've got glue on this button, I better add this button somewhere as well. I add that there. And I really want one more. Oh, look, there's one more. There's another little sequin. Let's just do this one as well. I'm going to add a little bit of glue. A little bit. There we go. Let's add that bit there. Ooh, there we go. And that's it, girls. All done, girls. I should say boys as well. Boys, girls and boys. That's it. That is the triangular trifold card. All done. I promised you it would be easy. It's not super difficult. Isn't that cute? And I love the way that it starts off this way. And then when you open it, everything's still the right way up. That is clever. See, that just blows my little unmathematical mind completely. Now, it doesn't stand up, I know that, but you know what? It's really easy to attach a card base. So you could put what I call an A-shape card, so a card that stands up this way, and you could attach it quite easily to a card base if you wanted to. So it could stand up like that, or when it's opened, it would stand up. You know, if you wanted to fold it the other way, you could stand it up that way. But I think it's pretty. I love it. I think it's a really good one. All right, so let's move all this out the way and I'll bring the other ones back in. So here was the other Crafting Forever one. Same, but different. There we go. And then we obviously have the pretty, pretty birdie one as well. There we go. So, triangular trifolds. Give it a go. Let me know how you do. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and all the measurements will be on my clothescraftclosetblogspot.com website. And if you need a demo and you're in Australia, I would love to be your demo. So you can place orders online in my store or send me an email and I can order it on behalf, and I ship all over Australia. I think that's it today. Have a lovely day, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.